In LA this week,
The greatest thing that ever happened to me in my life was I met a group called the Commodores.
Lionel Richie is honored during a spirited African American Heritage Month celebration at City Hall. I'm Anita Bennett, and I'll have that story just ahead.
I feel great. I'm so excited and happy that I finished.
Congratulations are in order for 30 unique individuals, the first graduating class to earn their high school diplomas using online courses through a public library system. I'm Gil Reyes with the story next.
I'm Anna Marcos. A new master plan for the West LA VA Medical Center and a new focus on the veterans it's meant to help. That's coming up.
hello and welcome to LA This Week. Thanks for joining us. I'm Yana Kay. Well, more than 7,000 volunteers hit the streets for a county-wide tally of LA's homeless population. As Gil Reyes reports, the numbers could determine future funding to end the problem.
7 people? 7 all, yeah. So now
Armed with clipboards and flashlights, volunteers canvassed some of LA County's darkest corners for the largest count of its kind in the nation.
This gives us a more accurate picture of the homeless population and the homeless situation, not just in the city of Los Angeles, but the county of Los Angeles.
You just want to go straight? Yes, you want to go straight.
Sherman Oaks area councilman David Rue was among several thousand volunteers participating in the greater Los Angeles homeless count.
So what do we got?
45.
45. Okay.
For 3 straight nights, volunteers marched through the San Fernando Valley, South LA, downtown, basically most of Los Angeles County. The tally, similar to the census count, could determine how much state and federal dollars we receive to battle homelessness. City budget experts say at least $1.8 billion over the next decade will be needed.
Not addressing homelessness is even more expensive. Consider how much we spend in all sorts of city services, county services, state. And so it's a humanitarian crisis, but it's also a financial crisis.
Volunteers also reminded people that thousands of additional shelter beds are available during these winter months.
What else has changed? $200 million of commitments from the city and the county to say, even as we look at money that has dried up from the federal government and disappeared in some cases from state funds, we don't know how every single day, but we have said it on the record and we will get money out there.
Looking them in the eye and saying, I see you, and you matter. You matter enough for all of us to be on the streets tonight counting. You matter enough to us for us to call our friends to get them involved. And you matter enough for us to keep the pressure on until we do better and deliver a city without a homeless person at night.
Results from this latest tally are expected to be released by spring. In downtown LA, Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
Last year, volunteers counted more than 41,000 homeless people in LA County, a 12% increase since 2012. And a portion of the homeless population includes war veterans, but now an ambitious new plan is in the works to get them off the streets and to give West LA's VA Medical Center a makeover. Anna Marcos takes us there as the plan is unveiled.
The West LA VA Medical Center is meant to house and care for our most vulnerable veterans. But in recent years, it had fallen short. Now, in the wake of a lawsuit, the Veterans Administration is unveiling a master plan that would rejuvenate the VA Medical Center and put it back on track, providing both housing and care for veterans, especially the homeless vets.
Veterans of Los Angeles deserve a VA campus that can be a home for those who need one, or a home away from home for those that come here for their medical care.
One of the cornerstones of the plan, building 1,200 units of permanent housing on site.
It's really about putting the veteran first.
Also in the plans, a town center and new medical, recreational, and social amenities, as well as other supportive services.
We can meet veterans' needs across their spectrum of needs, not just housing, but the mental health and the dental and physical health care, the healing of their souls that we need. And that is the legacy of this land.
If we don't provide the services, we end up seeing them in the county, whether it's in a trauma center or in our streets.
Among some of the changes here, a new medical director, close to 100 new staff, a new Welcome Center shelter with 35 beds and a transitional program, and more than 4,000 vets have been housed with the help of city agencies. But some veterans say officials aren't doing enough.
There is a culture of delays, denials, and deprivations of benefits and services. Equipment, physical therapy, for example, equipment dates back into the 1980s, and much of it is broken down.
This is not for the weak at heart. This is going to be a multi-year effort.
So as a veteran, this is very important to me.
No word yet on how much the plan will cost. Officials say it will be slowly phased in. The first order of the day, passing a new law needed to start building the permanent housing. I'm Anna Marcos for LA This Week.
The VA administration is also handing out 800 new HUD housing vouchers to homeless veterans, and plans are underway to open 300 shelter beds for vets throughout LA. While Mayor Eric Garcetti and the City Council marked African American Heritage Month with a special celebration at City Hall. Anita Bennett reports as part of the festivities, Lionel Richie was presented with a Living Legend Award.
With music and a who's who of stars, including Lou Gossett Jr., the city of LA kicked off African American Heritage Month with a celebration on the South Lawn of City Hall and a special recognition for Lionel Richie.
The greatest thing that ever happened to me in my life was I met a group called the Commodores. And I always say this every day, thank God for the Commodores, because without them, I would have never met Lionel Richie.
The musician and philanthropist who grew up in Tuskegee, Alabama, now calls LA home and said he was honored to receive the city's Living Legend Award. While Richie did not perform, he did sing along as local musicians, including Eric Benet and Shantae Moore, paid tribute by belting out his songs. Inside City Hall, Richie talked about the importance of his award, and he had a message for critics who say there's no longer a need for Black History Month.
If you go and look at our history books today, it still leaves us out in terms of the total story. If you want to learn Black history, you have to take a separate course in Black history, opposed to making it the main part of American history. So I think without a doubt we should continue to have Black History Month, week, day, forever.
Richie, who over the span of his career has won 4 Grammys and an Oscar, was also singled out by Mayor Eric Garcetti.
Well, Mr. Richie, on behalf of the City of Los Angeles, it is truly my honor to present you with the Living Legend Award. Come on forward.
Council members then recognized 3 other prominent African Americans, including Cal State Dominguez Hills President Willie Hagan, California Board of Equalization Chairman Jerome Horton, and California Appeal Court Justice Audrey Collins.
I couldn't accept this award during African American Heritage Month without acknowledging my ancestors whose sacrifices brought me to this point.
Collins went on to say her grandfather was a slave who could not read, but she excelled because her parents instilled in her the value of education. At City Hall, I'm Anita Bennett for LA This Week.
Justice Collins was appointed to the Court of Appeals by Governor Jerry Brown in 2014. Well, is increased construction of Hollywood high-rises helping or hurting the poor? Councilman Mitch O'Farrell weighs in at his yearly State of Hollywood address. Gil Reyes has more from Taglian Cultural Center. Gil.
Well, that is right, Yana. Councilman Mitch O'Farrell's annual State of Hollywood address inside this crowded ballroom touched on a number of topics, including homelessness, public safety, and the very controversial topic of development in his Tinseltown district.
We should think big, dream big.
A standing ovation for Hollywood councilman and big supporter of local development, Mitch O'Farrell. Speaking to business leaders, O'Farrell opposes plans that could stop construction in Hollywood.
This ballot measure would be a direct threat on the production of affordable housing.
He's referring to a proposed ballot initiative led by Michael Weinstein, his AIDS Healthcare Foundation, and the group Coalition to Preserve LA. They accused the city of breaking zoning laws in order to speed up construction of area high-rises, including 2 planned skyscrapers to be built behind the Hollywood Palladium. Some say these projects only benefit rich developers, while squeezing out longtime residents who can't afford to live in these new buildings. Weinstein's proposed ballot measure could delay construction for years, but O'Farrell says that will end up hurting everyone.
So when people who are promoting this talk about, well, it's only luxury housing and we're chasing away the middle class, the reverse is true. The reason housing is getting more costly over the city is because there's a shortage. So market rate housing prices will come down when the production goes up.
And O'Farrell says affordable housing for the poor will be included in these projects. Supporters also say increased development will create much needed construction jobs.
The developers invest in the community, and it's that investment that improves the community. When I came, Hollywood was practically all parking lots. Now we're filling in those parking lots with exciting projects that upgrade the community.
As of deadline time for this story, the Coalition to Preserve LA was trying to gather enough signatures to put their measure to delay construction on the ballot. Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
The city has set a goal of building 100,000 new housing units by 2021. Well, a new LA app could transform the way we use transportation. And Marcos was there as city leaders unveiled the new GoLA App at the city's Automated Traffic and Control System Center.
Whether you use a bike, a car, a bus, train, or rideshare service, LA now becomes the first city to make getting around town as easy as clicking a button on your smartphone. City leaders showed off the GoLA app, a team effort by the city and Xerox to give Angelenos more ride choices.
GoLA is your brain. It does all the thinking for you. It calculates different routes available and lists them by sooner, cheaper, and greener. And you can see not only the length of your trip, but also the price, the number of calories burned, and how much carbon dioxide is released into the air.
Angelenos can download the GoLA app from the Apple or Google Play Store.
When I was using this app, I was able to plan my trip from my couch before I left the house.
Transportation is a huge contributor, somewhere between 35 and 40% of greenhouse gas emissions. And so the more we can make it easier to make for people to make a sustainable choice, overall, the better it is.
And coming soon, within weeks, the app's creators promise a new feature that will allow you to book any ride and pay for it right at your fingertips.
You go out on the street and you don't know that there's a bus about to arrive around the corner. You don't know if there's a zip car in the garage. You don't know if what it will cost on taxi versus Uber versus Lyft.
But now the GoLA app will put you on the map, wherever you are, wherever you want to go, and whichever way you want to get there with just one smart click on your mobile device. I'm Anna Marcos for LA This Week.
Now, another feature coming soon to the GoLA app is a partnership with the Waze app, which will give consumers real-time information on accidents and other road delays as they happen. Well, the LAPD and LAFD go head-to-head for a good cause. A new LAPD facility on the west side brings the whole community together, and Ted Watkins Park in Watts gets a few upgrades. All these stories and more in CityBeat. The Los Angeles Police and Fire Departments recently competed in the 9th annual Battle of the Badges Blood Drive. LAPD, LAFD, and other law enforcement agencies competed in a friendly contest to see which department can donate the most blood for the American Red Cross of Southern California. In the end, officials say it doesn't matter who comes out ahead.
I think it's a win-win situation for everybody if we all just donate.
Officials and community members recently gathered for the opening ceremony of the LAPD Pacific Community Center on Culver Boulevard. The 5,000 square foot center includes more than 50 workstations, community meeting rooms, and a children's library. The facility will serve as LAPD offices as well as a gathering space for youth programs and community events.
It is a sweet, beautiful, state-of-the-art office space for dozens of cops.
It signifies a vision, a dream, partnerships, and the community coming together to make something possible.
Cal State Northridge recently hosted its 19th annual High School Art Invitational, where students and faculty from 38 high schools across the San Fernando Valley showcased their artwork. Each school submitted 6 different works, including paintings, ceramics, sculptures, video, and animation.
And it's nice for the students to compare themselves and their artwork with other student artists here in the Valley.
Councilmember Joe Buscaino hosted a ribbon-cutting ceremony to celebrate the 103rd Street Streetscape Improvement Project at Ted Watkins Park in Watts. The enhancements include landscaped median islands, a gateway monument, access ramps, benches, bicycle racks, decorative crosswalks, and sidewalk improvements. The Streetscape project was made possible thanks to the Department of Cultural Affairs and the Bureau of Street Services.
This is a year we've reflected on the 50-year anniversary of the Watts Rebellion. There's no better time than now to see this kind of positive change influence here in Watts.
It's an alarming statistic. 25% of adults in Los Angeles don't have a high school diploma, but the LA City Library is helping with free online courses. Gil Reyes has more from the program's first ever graduating class.
I feel great. I'm so excited and happy that I finished.
Holly Maidens, a single mom, had dropped out of high school years ago to care for 2 sons and a mom suffering from cancer. Today, she finally earns her diploma through the LA City Library's Career Online High School. Maidens is now enrolled at Pierce College, pursuing a career as a social worker.
Because of this program gave me the confidence to go to Pierce and be able to pursue my dreams, as before I didn't.
The LA City Library graduates its first ever online high school class. Around 30 students, all between the ages of 20 and 50. They completed courses within a year and a half on average, oftentimes in between jobs.
They do it online, they do it at their own pace, they do it with assistance and help from our library staff, and it's just been an incredibly successful program that now libraries across the country are now replicating.
LA City librarian John Sabo says 49 other public libraries nationwide are following LA's lead by establishing their own online high schools. But LA's public library was the first.
And this library system was there at the right moment to just be the enabler of your hard work. We opened the door up, but you today have walked through that, through the hard work that you've done.
In my case, I'm from Mexico City. Back there, I had the chance to complete high school. But here, when I wanted to go to college, I couldn't, because I couldn't transfer my credits. So this program was the perfect fit for me, because now I can go to college.
And yes, the online courses are free. From graduation ceremonies at downtown Central Library, Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
Now, you must be at least 19 years old to apply for Career Online High School. Register at lapl.org. Well, Councilman Jose Huizar's Bringing Back Broadway initiative just entered its 9th year, and Angelinos from across the city came together to celebrate. Rich Samuels has more.
I don't know, it just feels like a good vibe.
Young and old, families and friends, artists and performers, everyone was there for Night on Broadway.
It's about arts, culture, and bringing back these beautiful theaters.
Bringing Back Broadway is Huizar's 10-year plan to revitalize the Grand Theaters and legendary business district that was once the center of business and tourism for Los Angeles.
You know, there's no place like Broadway anywhere else in the world where there are 12 historic theaters on one block, one quarter. Next to New York, you probably can't find this anywhere else.
Night on Broadway opens up many of the historic theaters for spectacular performances and reintroduces festival goers to the vaudeville and movie palaces that stood vacant for years.
And then we went to the $1 Million Theater and we saw a cabaret show, and that was really fun.
Inside and out, the choices for entertainment was seemingly endless, from a silent disco to artists at work to something called chess boxing.
We saw a Tesla that had
it was like a cop car, but like instead it was a Tesla.
It's very diverse here, different ages, different colors, different races. Amazing. I think it's very beautiful, you know.
If these incredible crowds are any indication, I think we can safely say Broadway is back. This is Rich Samuels for LA This Week.
Well, if you missed this year's Night on Broadway, you can start counting down for next year's edition, which takes place on January 28th, 2017. Well, it's time to play ball as the LA Clippers kick off their youth program meant to keep inner city kids off the streets and on the basketball court. Wearing brand new professional basketball uniforms, these kids are playing a friendly game of ball, being coached by former and current Clippers players. The Clippers, YMCA of Metropolitan Los Angeles, and the city's Department of Recreation and Parks teamed up recently to tip off the 16th annual Junior Clippers program.
Events like this that can keep them for a few months out of the streets for some of them, or to help them with their basketball, to get them involved in the basketball growing up. Some of them, are probably going to make friends here for life, but it's good. It's good to have activities like that for kids.
The gym at the Los Angeles Center for Enriched Studies was filled with parents and family members watching their kids play in the annual tip-off event. The Junior Clippers program has grown from 750 participants in 2001 to nearly 24,000 kids in 2016, serving inner-city children between the ages of 5 to 15 from 11 LA recreation centers.
That's what the Clippers is all about, really inspiring great engagement and great outcomes for kids.
Kids have a chance to play competitive basketball, learn about cooperation and how to work as a team. The goal of the program is to promote the fundamentals of basketball, integrity, sportsmanship, and athletics as an alternative to negative influences. LA City officials say the program has had a positive impact.
The community itself gets behind it, not just the kids, but the kids, the parents, the siblings, everybody who comes and participates. It's really something of recognition, ownership.
Recreation centers selected to participate in the program are from underserved communities in Los Angeles. The season runs from early January through the end of March, culminating with a championship tournament in early April. A largely hidden treasure in the banks of the LA River has just expanded its profile, not to mention its fitness options. Gil Reyes has more from a newly opened gymnastics center in Frogtown. Gil.
Yes, Yana, what's billed as one of the largest gymnastic facilities in the country is located here in the community of Frogtown, also known as the Elysian Valley. And what a location it is. We didn't see a lot of leapfrogging in Frogtown, but we did see a lot of flipping and tumbling. To the families we spoke to, it's enough to jump for joy. The Klub, a gymnastics fitness center, has made the leap into Frogtown.
I'm really excited because I grew up here. I grew up in this neighborhood. I have a daughter. She goes to Doris Place Elementary. Go Tigers! And we wanted to be here to support them on their ribbon cutting ceremony.
After 8 years in Silver Lake, the center offering gymnastics for kids and adults moves into a much larger 40,000 square foot space. Enough room to add new dance and martial arts classes, also cardio equipment and a soon-to-be-built swimming pool.
Our real estate agent said, hey, there's a space over here in Elysian Valley, and then learned about Frogtown, and then found out that this space was right on the LA River, which is also adjacent to the bike path, walking path. So with that, we also want to branch out into a bike rental program. So not only can children do gymnastics when they're here working out, but their parents have something to do also.
I tell you, put a kid of any age, 3 years old or 30 years old, on a trampoline, and you watch them go. And before you know it, they have an amazing cardio workout without even knowing they were trying to work out.
Count former high school gymnast and Elysian Valley Councilman Mitch O'Farrell as a big supporter of the multiple fitness options now being offered. He also supports area development.
We're opening restaurants in Elysian Valley. It's a very, very special neighborhood right here at the LA River. Less than 6,000 residents, but it is a residential community. So to see these businesses move in here is a really good sign.
Some longtime residents of the Elysian Valley are against the gentrification, fearing it will spoil Frogtown's hidden charm. As a gesture of goodwill, the Klub is offering memberships for half price to locals only.
There's always going to be change, and if you embrace change and you get the most out of the change, it's better for everyone.
In Frogtown, Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
At 40,000 square feet, the Klub in Frogtown is also one of the largest gyms in Southern California. Well, time to lace up your running shoes for the Ultimate Fitness Challenge, a play that's perfect for the entire family, and a Golden Dragon Parade where East meets West. All this in this week's Things to Do. Get ready, get set, go to the LA Marathon. Runners from in and outside of Los Angeles will participate in this great challenge. Kicking off at Dodger Stadium, this annual parade of physical endurance and community spirit winds its way through 26 miles of LA, culminating at Ocean Avenue in Santa Monica. Dozens of bands will perform along the route for an especially spirited experience. Show your support for these athletes, and we wish all the runners good luck. For details on volunteer opportunities and more, visit lamarathon.com.
As a mom, I thought it was really especially touching.
Don't miss Man Covets Bird, a 24th Street Theater production. This unique love story for modern families is an irresistible mix of storytelling, live music, and animation. Perfect for Valentine's Day, it's a play that will also engage kids and deeply touch adults. Opening Valentine's Day at the 24th Street Theater. For more information, visit 24thstreet.org. One of LA's oldest traditions, the 117th annual Chinese New Year Parade and Festival kicks off in downtown's Chinatown. This celebration brings multi-stage acts from kung fu demos to traditional music acts. At this parade, East meets West as old meets new with food trucks, ping pong, a craft beer garden with local breweries. Family entertainment includes kid-friendly face painting, storytelling, and paper folding. The parade starts at Hill and Ord Streets and concludes at Broadway and Cesar Chavez on Saturday, February 13th from 1 to 3 p.m. For more information, visit lagoldendragonparade.com. And that's a look at some things to do. Well, that's going to do it for this edition. I'm Yana Kay, and from all of us here at LA This Week, thanks for joining us. A reminder that you can catch us online at lacitybeview.org. You can also follow and like us on Facebook. We'll see you back here next week for more of LA This Week.